Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Automotive Therapist. I'm your host, Scott Branford, and thank you for joining in. This podcast is designed to listen to your experiences with auto-related subjects from driving to owning and beyond. Stick around, the Automotive Therapist is next. Hello, everyone out there. This is Scott Branford, the Automotive Therapist. Hope you heard some of my episodes up till now, and if not, give us a like, subscribe, and just kind of join in and listen to some of the topics. And we want to hear your comments and feedback because that's what makes this work. And I'm looking forward to hearing from people out there. I don't know where you are in the country, around the world right now, but I guess we are going into some foul weather season here in New York anyway. Other places pretty nice, but not all places either. But wherever you are, you're driving a car somewhere, I'm sure. But today's topic that I want to cover is called Everyone Should Drive 100 miles per hour at least once. And the reason I thought about this, and I don't know where you folks live, but of course, I'm sure you can relate to this phenomena as I think it is now. But I guess I live in the Westchester County area in New York, East Coast, United States. But around here on some of the interstates now, people just sort of randomly, I would say randomly, regularly drive at excessive rates of speed. And it seems to be something that nobody's really concerned about. And I think, with modern automobiles, you can get a base Elantra car to go 100 miles an hour. When I was coming up, if you drove, a 70s car 100 miles an hour on the highway, you were hanging on for dear life. We didn't have sophisticated suspension systems. We had worm and sector, worm and roller type of steering. It was no rack and pinion steering. You have worn out tie rods, some bad ball joints, and it's a control arm front suspensions. So you really, it wasn't as easy to go 100 miles an hour as it is now. And even when you say like 100 miles an hour driving a car, I mean, think about it for a minute. It's really not that difficult. And again, people, do it all the time. So anyhow, I took a trip to Hillsborough, New Jersey from White Plains last Sunday to go watch my young great nephew playing a championship baseball game. And it was a lot of fun. It was really great going down there, a different section of the country. But I traveled down 287 through New Jersey. And if anybody's driven on that road in the area here, or if you know about it someplace around the world, it really goes, south, and west through the state, places like Morristown, Basking Ridge, Bernardsville. And those are very opulent areas, by the way, and very scenic. But, driving along, I mean, it's sort of like if you're in the right lane, going 70 miles an hour, you just, people are flying by you going 100 miles per hour. So, that's why I thought about this whole idea of, everyone should drive 100 miles an hour at least once in a car. And I would like for people to respond, after the cast here by letting me know, anonymously, of course, if you've ever driven that fast before. And I'm interested to see how many people really will comply with the request and how many people have actually done it. But it's not so unusual anymore. And it's not a demographic thing. It's not an age related thing. I mean, there's 70 and 80-year-old people that are driving 100 miles an hour on the highway. Now, as we know, this is strictly illegal. I don't advocate speeding, but I'm just an observer, and I see people doing it all the time. And whether you're late for a function or you just get on a line of traffic. I mean, how many people out there have just gotten on a line of traffic, and you give enough distance, of course, to the car in front of you, but you look down and you're doing 80, 90 miles an hour. It's very easy to do. It's very compelling, and it can lure you in, to just driving that way. So, from the automotive therapist standpoint, there's some sort of, psychological connection to this. And, maybe if any psychiatrists or psychologists, professional people out there are listening, please chime in, and comment as to what the phenomena is in the human psyche that causes people to drive like this. But I was thinking again, going back a little ways because I'm in my 70s, so when I started driving, people would go that fast, but it wasn't a lot of people that did it. Somebody would fly by you, and it seemed back then that it was really more of a concern about the legal ramifications of doing it. I mean, if you drove real fast, you're really scared of getting a ticket. At least I was. I had a little Volkswagen Beetle. I might have mentioned this on another episode, but I was driving back 95 in Maryland, and I got stopped by a trooper. And I must have been like 19 years old. And the guy flew by me in an Eldorado at a whole 80 miles an hour back then, 80, 85. And so I told the trooper, I said, this guy just flew by me at, an Eldorado at 85 miles an hour. I said, you stopped me for 75. It took me all day to get to 75 miles an hour in this car. So I think he was slightly amused, but he let me off with a warning. So, I just remembered that particular story. But, make no mistake about it, driving that fast is very dangerous. But the other thing about, my whole concept of people driving that fast at some point in their life is to understand the dynamics of the car and the control of the car. And, kind of just put yourself in a zone where, you feel the actual phenomena. And, of course, I'm sure people are going to contest this and say, you're out of your mind. People should not drive 100 miles an hour. And again, I don't advocate speeding, but it is interesting. And I mean, I've seen trucks go 100 miles an hour. But it's, I still wonder and kind of ponder why, the idea of why people drive that fast regularly and why so many people get away with it now without any legal ramifications. I mean, I went down to Jersey and I came back. I didn't see one person pulled over during the whole 84 mile, down and back trip, 84 down and 84 miles back. And, maybe that kind of situation also, coaxes people into, driving that fast because they don't worry about it. Of course, we all know, with Waze and some of the GPS tracking deals we have now, if there is any police activity, in front of you, it'll certainly alert you to that. So I think we've gotten spoiled by that too. So, a lot of people, go that fast. And the other thing I thought was interesting is that, it doesn't matter what kind of car it is. And, I've seen hoopties at 100 miles an hour, going by in, in some 187,000 mile clapped out, Honda. But, again, I put this out there and just storytelling, and I like to listen to people's comments about their particular, idea about going that fast and whether you think it's right or wrong if you've experienced it, unfortunately. And maybe some of you can chime in and you've had some mishaps going that fast. Obviously, when people crash going like that, it's big news, it's big stories. You go on social media. I don't know, people out there, I guess we're all on social media. How many times have you just seen, car wrecks on social media? I mean, sometimes I think that's like the number one thing that's out there. It's car wrecks, pets, and the phenomena of females doing whatever. And I digress. I'm not going to go there, but this is something that happens in the whole social makeup of our society and culture now, and it's not just relegated to the U.S. I was going down 287. I said, wow, this road is as good as any Autobahn in Germany. So, you wonder why, the Germans, feel right at home going that fast because of their, the responsibility of their driving habits. But, why can't we do it in the United States? I mean, there should be sections of highway that let you go that fast. I'm trying to remember, and somebody, if you can chime in on this later on after you listen to this. When I was younger, I think there were certain sections of American highway they didn't have speed limits on. Now, I'm not sure about that. I really would like to hear from somebody that can corroborate that. Maybe you're as old as I am or whatever, but that's experienced that kind of deal too in the past. But this is I just want to put it out there. This was the episode title topic. I don't know if it's the best one that I'm going to be able to do, but it's interesting, the whole idea and the concept of driving 100 miles an hour. And I won't even mention it. We won't do a 200 mile an hour episode, okay? I'll stay off that. Uh, but there's been some sightings on highways of people driving in excess of 150 miles an hour, maybe 160, and even faster than that. But things get a little weird when you start going that fast. I don't know if you have the same perspective, you have the same physical ability and dynamic to be able to control the car. Eye hand coordination and stuff, and it gets a little sketchy going that fast, especially if you really aren't up to speed, no pun intended, to go that fast. But again, this whole my whole thing here is just getting people to listen and join in and join the topics. And hey, listen, you send me messages too. I mean, I'd love to respond directly. If you have any ideas, for episodes, chime in. This is about you. This is not about me. I'm just a general guy that just puts the episodes out there, the topics, and would certainly like to hear from you, the listening audience. But it's a lot of fun doing this. It's I'm trying to get better, and I think I can get better at it. And there's certain stories that I can share and remember over time that I'll certainly share with you also. So I'm going to sign off right now. We got a 12-minute segment here. I think most of my segment's going to be 12 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, certainly in the future. But thanks for joining the Automotive Therapist, family, friends, anybody out there that listens. Please chime in, please send comments, and certainly look forward to hearing everybody. And listen, be safe out there. Happy motoring. The holidays are here, and don't drive 100 miles an hour. Okay, I'll just end with that. Anyhow, thanks so much, Scott Branford, Automotive Therapist. Love all of you. Take care.